Every month, fate brought them within a few feet of each other, only to pull them apart before they could ever meet. A dropped notebook, a missed train, a delayed delivery, a last-minute change of plans, an entire year seemed determined to keep two lonely hearts apart. Then, on a bright winter afternoon during the town's annual winter festival, destiny finally stopped running and gave them the moment they had both unknowingly been waiting for. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps our community continue sharing emotional stories that remind us love often arrives exactly when we least expect it. Alaric Bennett had spent the past 3 years rebuilding his life after losing his younger brother in a tragic accident. Once outgoing and adventurous, he had slowly become quiet, finding comfort in restoring old furniture inside a small woodworking shop on the edge of town. Every handcrafted table or rocking chair felt like another step toward healing, yet every evening he returned to an empty apartment where silence reminded him that success could never replace companionship. Across town, Mireille Dawson devoted her days to managing the local library. She loved books because they offered endings that real life rarely guaranteed. After caring for her mother through a long illness, Mireille had forgotten what it felt like to dream about her own future. Friends often encouraged her to start dating again, but she always smiled politely and changed the subject. Somewhere deep inside, she feared opening her heart only to lose someone again. Without realizing it, their lives crossed paths again and again throughout the year. In early spring, Alaric visited the library to donate handcrafted bookshelves. Mireille had stepped outside moments earlier to help a child retrieve a runaway balloon. By the time she returned, he had already driven away, leaving behind only a handwritten note thanking the staff. Weeks later, Mireille stopped by a neighborhood cafe to buy coffee for volunteers organizing a literacy event. Alaric had just left after finishing breakfast. The waitress accidentally gave Mireille the sketchbook he had forgotten, while handing Alaric her tote bag by mistake. Both bags were returned before either discovered who the other was. Summer brought another near encounter. During the town's charity picnic, Alaric volunteered to repair wooden benches while Mireille organized children's reading activities beneath a nearby tree. Heavy rain forced everyone indoors just minutes before their paths finally would have crossed. Autumn offered yet another opportunity. Both attended a community fundraiser for the local animal shelter. Alaric donated handcrafted pet beds. Mireille sponsored several rescued dogs. They stood in the same room for nearly an hour, separated only by a crowd gathered around the auction stage. Neighbors joked that fate seemed to enjoy playing games. Neither knew how true that really was. As winter approached, the town announced its annual winter festival, held entirely during the daytime in the Central Park. Families looked forward to music, handmade crafts, local food vendors, children's activities, and charity fundraising. Mireille volunteered to coordinate the festival's book donation booth, while Alaric agreed to build decorative wooden displays for local artisans. On the morning of the festival, bright sunshine reflected across fresh snow, filling the park with warmth despite the cold air. Volunteers hurried between booths as visitors filled every pathway. Just before opening, disaster struck. Strong wind knocked over one of the large wooden display stands, scattering handmade decorations across the walkway. Several volunteers rushed to help, including Mireille, who instinctively knelt to gather the fallen items. At that exact moment, Alaric arrived carrying replacement tools. For the first time all year, there were no delays. No interruptions. No missed chances. As they reached for the same carved wooden ornament, their hands gently touched. They both paused. Something about the moment felt strangely familiar. While rebuilding the damaged display together, they began talking naturally, discovering an effortless comfort neither had expected with a complete stranger. Conversation flowed from favorite books to woodworking, from childhood dreams to community service. Each story revealed another surprising connection. When Mireille mentioned organizing the spring library renovations, Alaric laughed softly. He admitted he had built the custom bookshelves. When Alaric described accidentally leaving his sketchbook at a cafe months earlier, Mireille smiled. She confessed she had been the person who unknowingly carried it home before returning it. As they shared more memories, they realized just how many times their lives had quietly intersected throughout the year. It felt almost impossible. Almost unbelievable. Yet somehow perfectly real. The afternoon continued with laughter as they welcomed visitors, arranged donated books, and helped children create handmade winter crafts. Watching Alaric patiently teach young volunteers how to sand small wooden ornaments reminded Mireille of the quiet strength she had admired for years in fictional heroes but never expected to find in real life. Meanwhile, Alaric noticed the kindness with which Mireille treated every child, every elderly visitor, every nervous volunteer. She remembered names, offered encouragement, and somehow made everyone feel seen. He realized she possessed the very peace he had been searching for since losing his brother. As the festival drew toward its closing celebration, the event coordinator thanked every volunteer before announcing that record-breaking donations had been collected for local families in need. The crowd applauded. Children laughed. Music filled the crisp afternoon air. Standing beside each other beneath the bright winter sun, Alaric quietly admitted he almost hadn't attended the festival because he believed nothing good ever seemed to happen anymore. Mireille smiled. She confessed she nearly stayed home for exactly the same reason. Sometimes hope arrives disguised as one more ordinary day. Before leaving, Alaric reached into his coat pocket and removed a small handcrafted wooden bookmark shaped like an open book. He had carved it weeks earlier, intending to donate it during the festival. Instead, he offered it to Mireille as a reminder that unfinished stories often become the most beautiful ones. She accepted it with grateful tears shining in her eyes. Neither promised forever. Neither rushed the future. They simply agreed to begin with the coffee they had unknowingly missed all those months ago. Over the following seasons, their friendship grew into a love built not on grand gestures but on patience, honesty, shared purpose, and quiet acts of kindness. Together they expanded community literacy programs, restored neighborhood parks, and continued volunteering at every winter festival, always smiling whenever someone joked that fate had finally stopped making them miss each other. Years later, they often told friends that love wasn't about perfect timing. It was about refusing to lose hope while life quietly arranged the meeting you never saw coming. Before this story comes to an end, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a meaningful comment and tell us, do you believe destiny brings the right people together at the right time, or do we create our own opportunities through kindness and courage? If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Remember, even when life seems determined to make you miss every opportunity, hope has a remarkable way of finding you exactly when your heart is finally ready.